what is the significance of 16120?
Starting heavy. That is a big one, and it starts with my dad, I guess. Not knowing him throughout my life was kind of, well, just as a general rule of thumb, how you find the unknown interesting. He was like this parental figure that I heard a lot about. Didn't really know him that well, so it kind of sparked my interest. And I guess just his name is Pat, and when you code that into how do you explain that alphabet thing where the letters represent numbers? So A would be 1, B would be 2. Pat spelled out is 16120, and I guess the reason I chose that is like an ode for him, so something I can dedicate my creativity towards him, just to sort of, as a sign of respect and interest, and yeah, I guess that's it.
And the name Pat,
yeah,
why did you start writing that and putting that down in various forms, whether it be art or music?
Yeah, just as an ode, didn't put too much thought into it. It was just, I've heard some cool things about him and I kind of look up to him in that sense, so it was a way for me to connect to him, I suppose.
At first, was it kind of subconscious, like when you first wrote Pat on a piece of paper, or did you realise exactly what you were doing when you wrote that down?
I didn't know what I was doing as far as where it would lead or what would come of it, but it was still a conscious process that I chose to undertake.
And what is your life philosophy?
Life philosophy?
How do you live your life?
Just be a deep person. Be someone who is authentic, true to themselves, and connects to things they love in a deep way, in a expressive way, and just put yourself out there to the world in any way possible and show people what you can do and who you are, because that's what I deem pretty important.
What effect has your family had on your music?
Oh, yeah, pretty much owe Mum everything. She's taught me a lot about music from a very early age. When we used to drive down south in 5-hour car trips, she'd put on trance CDs and show me sort of what she grew up with, and I owe her all my tastes and where I'm at now based on what she's done for me in that sense. So yeah.
It seems like almost like your music is just an ode to family.
Yeah, pretty much. Now that you say that, yeah, it's just like one of the only ways I can really, or just a way I choose to show my gratitude and stuff.
It's a good way to channel it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like coming back to that music your mum was playing you as a kid. What do you think? Who are some artists that you think had a really big impact on you, or some songs that really moved you?
Just from what comes to mind, and I've actually done a little cheesy trap flip of it, but that song "Take Me Away" by 4 Strings, that was huge. Artists like Fragma, who did Toka's Miracle, that club mix was big, and Plummet, Damaged, which I put in my new EP as well. I think it's the opening track. So that real clubby late 90s, early 2000s sort of cheesy emotional stuff.
It makes you feel something.
Yeah, it does, yeah, definitely.
I think a big draw to the music you make is kind of putting a different twist on these cheesy songs that are cheesy but they make you feel something, and that's kind of undeniable.
Yeah, that's the plan, to sort of add my own spin and repurpose the songs, I suppose, in like a deeper, I don't know, I just feel like ambience holds more of a warmth to it, so that was that's the plan.
And when did you first start making music?
When I was 16 in high school, I think. I was making lo-fi house. That was a weird phase. But yeah, it was quite late. I mean, my dad had played music his whole life and stuff, so I knew that it might be a path that I crossed one day, but yeah, I was quite late to the show, I guess, in the grand scheme of things.
And how did making music, when you first started and now, how did that help you deal with things, or how did that help you emotionally?
Honestly, from what I've heard, a lot of people experience an emotion and transfer it into music, which is something I kind of do as well. But for me, the main thing was sort of creating emotions and feelings that I didn't even know existed or had within me. So it was kind of a reversed sort of thing, if that answers the question.
And like with that as well, like Love Letters is probably your most popular song on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And that's a song like I love so much because it's rich with emotion.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the process behind a song like that?
Absolutely. That is something that's only ever happened to me once in my life. And what happened with that was I woke up from a dream at about 4 a.m. with a melody in my head. I don't know if it was pulled from somewhere or if it was just a subconscious sort of thing. I'm yet to find that out. But I just remember grabbing my phone and like singing this horrible out of tune melody into the voice recorder, knowing that it could be something sick. And then I went back to bed and woke up the next morning and tried to sort of play it out and just spent hours trying to transfer this melody across, and then just had a crack at singing for the first time as well, and it sort of all came together. I guess it's sort of like when you're in the zone, everything just sort of fell into place really well, and yeah, it was really special. That hasn't happened before or since.
I think something I notice a lot with your music as well is you use it, whether it be your own voice or samples, it'll be a line that, like a kind of a powerful line.
Yeah.
You'll spot somewhere.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning behind using things like that strike a chord emotionally that you may have pulled from a pop song or something?
That is a good question. I guess something I like to do is find a sort of magical or brief moment, a brief idea that holds like a message or captivates a certain feeling or mood, and then I sort of explore that, which is why a lot of my music is just loops, because it's about crafting something small and sweet that has its own message, and just keeping that theme and exploring that as far as you can and not veer too far away from it.
And do you think that's like probably an influence from techno with you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Just there's something hypnotic and entrancing about a singular loop that repeats over and over. I think there's a science behind it. Apparently, if you listen to a loop for 20 minutes, the first 4 minutes will be really exciting, and then it dulls off, and then the last like 4 minutes or 6 minutes will just be the idea comes back to you, and it's just this whole fascinating process. Yeah.
How has the internet kind of shaped your style and what you listen to and what you make?
Oh, immensely. Yeah, it has, in the way, I don't know how to answer that really, because I mean, I guess it stemmed off sort of Drain Gang stuff, and then I pioneered my own sound from there. But I found artists through the visuals of like, I'm trying to think of who used to inspire me design-wise. Just like small Tumblr accounts, just kids in Sweden would make this cool art, and then I would use that for songs, and then slowly like morphed into this new internet-y sort of emotional thing.
And when did people kind of start taking notice to your music? Because I know you. This is for the real heads, but your house music actually had like it had quite a following.
Yeah.
And you had like various aliases, and you kind of reinvented yourself a couple times. Just like you made a different alias for each type of sound.
Yeah.
And then you kind of stopped that and started like the Pat project.
Yeah.
When do you think people started taking notice to your music?
Yeah, as you said, I mean, in the early days, the Lo-Fi House project got way too blown up for its own good, because it was not really up to standard. But yeah, then I started this Pat thing, and there was not too much of a following. It was just more of a platform for me to drop loops and archives that I was working on. But it was quite a gradual build. I mean, my song started at 200 plays and then 400, and then 6 months later Love Letters came out, and then that just skyrocketed for some reason. And from there it's been steady again, so it's quite a weird weird curve to like.
I guess that's how it is. And I like we've had conversations about your passion for music like techno, and then the music that you upload to your Bandcamp. It's kind of like, do you feel like with SoundCloud you feel like you're locked into a certain style of music, or people expect a certain style of music from you?
Yeah, good question. Definitely. I mean, I have a lot of different platforms on Bandcamp or SoundCloud or even YouTube at one point that most people don't know about, but they all serve a different purpose, and I do like to keep somewhat of a theme between them. So the SoundCloud stuff, I'm locked into it, but voluntarily locked into it, because there's always that need for me to express that sort of emotional side of trance and ambience and stuff like that. So it's nice, yeah.
And it's a good way to categorize different styles as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, they all serve a purpose.
Can you talk about the creation of Eternal Love Guided by Light and what the concept behind that project was?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mismatch thing. I mean, there was one side of it that's really deep, that has like a healing aspect to it. It's something of like a lullaby that I made. There's a few of them that have that sort of vibe to them. And then I just, for some reason, decided to throw in two really cheesy 2008-esque trance clubland songs. So there's not much of a strong concept to that one. It's just you can listen to the songs however you want and find your own purpose in them, I suppose. But yeah.
But as we were saying, there is like a lot of fun and emotion in that cheesy music.
Yeah,
It's cheesy,
yeah.
It's cheesy in the best way.
Everyone wants to have fun, yeah.
Why is music important to you?
Music is important to me. Geez, that's a good question. Because it's a way that I can learn about myself, learn about my feelings, and also impact other people as well. So if I have this idea or this connection to a certain song, I can express that with other people, and then ultimately they might feel the same, and it's just a really harmonious thing to do. I just love music because it's the one or a thing in life where it's beautiful and there's no side effects, no negative side effects whatsoever. You can listen with pleasure and nothing bad comes from it, which is it's special.
What do you value most in life?
Music. Music and emotions and friendship, really. Just connecting in any sense with anything is the biggest thing for me. Expressing and receiving other people's expressions is what I consider really important. My goal is to express my music to the best of my ability, to really fully authentically translate my ideas into sound. So I mean that can be an ongoing process that can last a lifetime, but I would just love to have ideas translated really fluently, you know.
I think you're doing a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's probably a good thing to keep up.
On the right path, maybe, yeah.
And finally, any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to my PKP posse in Melbourne, doing it large. Shout-outs to you for holding this interview. Shout-outs to my mum and my dad. And shout-outs to trance music and... yeah.
Shout out to trance music.
Shout out to trance music, yeah. Yeah, leave it at that, yeah, enough said.